This is the Barbados Today evening news for Friday, September 1st. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Police are seeking the public's assistance in identifying the body of a Caucasian man which was discovered in St. George early this morning. Lawmen say the body was located in a remote area at Hillside Garden, the Mount, St. George. They are now investigating the circumstances of the unnatural death and are hoping to have a positive identification of the body. Lawmen are asking anyone with information that can assist with their investigations to call the police emergency number 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477 or the nearest police station. In other news this evening, a warning that the National Insurance Fund could be depleted within the next 3 to 6 decades if some conditions do not improve. The 15th Actuarial Review, which was made public today, put forward several recommendations to improve the situation. Among them are the implementation of attractive means to allow self-employed people to contribute and benefit from the fund. The report also calls for an increase in diversification of investments to reduce the portion of the fund held in government debt to 50% and to increase the portion held in overseas investment to 20%. But Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku sought to allay fears over the future of the fund this afternoon. She told a news conference that it remains adequately financed and there are no plans for pension reform or to increase contribution rates.
The fund is not facing cash flow challenges at this time. Now, this document speaks up to 2014. The National Insurance Management and Board continues to monitor very closely the cash flow situation at the National Insurance, and it continues to be a case where the income contribution and investment income is sufficient to meet the benefits and other payouts that the National Insurance has. So the National Insurance is not facing cash flow challenges at this time, as we have been hearing suggested in other corners. The surplus is actually projected until 2034. And as I said, if we do have the annual average rate of economic growth at 1 to 1.5%, we expect then to have those surpluses, all other things being equal, until at least 2045.
The Barbados International Business Association says it remains concerned about the current state of the economy despite government's efforts to engage the private sector. And BIBA President Marlon Waldron is questioning suggestions that the sector is responsible for the drop in government revenue. Revenue collection in the international business sector has declined as a result of a loss of business. But Waldron says the criticism highlights the importance of the sector to the local economy.
One may see this as blaming the international business sector for the current unfortunate state in which our country has found itself as grossly unfair, especially when in good times. It is not this sector that is given the credit for the country's sound, healthy state in terms of its foreign reserve and fiscal position. In better times, that credit is given wholly to a sector which up to now, the nation has been encouraged to think of as our most important one. I believe we should find this very interesting. I take it in a very positive light. I see it as being, at last, a recognition of the immense importance of international business to Barbados and the very valuable contribution it has been making over the years.
And International Business Minister Donville Innes says the sector should not be blamed for the state of the economy. He says government revenue was expected to fall after certain decisions were made in relation to the tax regime due to the loss of significant business.
We did make some changes back in 2011. Even though I was then the substantive Minister of Health, I did have a watching brief on it somewhat. And that was at the time, as President Marlon rightly said, when we were running the risk of losing significant business from our main partner, Canada, as a result of their seeking to level the playing field by extending tax exchange information agreement to all others who would sign on and get the same benefit as Barbados is getting. And the government then decided that we would adjust the rate of taxes for the sector down, so as an effort to retain business in Barbados. Some of the larger taxpayers did depart to other jurisdictions that offer zero tax as an option to Barbados, and for other reasons, resulting naturally in a fall off in tax take for the sector.
The Met Office is monitoring the progress of two weather systems in the Atlantic Ocean. Hurricane Irma continues to make its way towards the island chain and is now 1,495 miles east of the Leeward Islands. The Category 3 hurricane is moving towards the west near 13 miles per hour, and a turn towards the west-southwest is expected tomorrow. Weather forecasters are also keeping an eye on a tropical wave over the far eastern Atlantic, and the Met Office says neither system poses a threat to Barbados or the other islands at this time. And it's time now for the weekly Pulse of the People. It appears that the opposition Barbados Labour Party is maintaining its dominance in the St. James North constituency. Barbados Today has been speaking with voters in the area who gave their verdict on the performance of MP Edmund Hinkson.
Hinkson for the Barbados Labour Party? Yes. Well, they decided what would the Barbados Labour Party. Hinkson! Hinkson!
It's me, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you going with Hinkson?
He's a good man. When I was going to school, I was always after the administration. So, we can try Hinkson.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
We are the tridents, we run it down. Everybody know we the baddest around. Anything test, we will throw that down. Come in, Peter, and tell me how we sound. Yes, lyric, you're talking the truth. When we walk up there, the house does salute. Boy, when we put on the tridents suit, we put everybody from you. Let's go, tridents. Barbados tridents. Let's go, tridents. Barbados tridents. Wash them all. Dust them all. Knock them all. Send them all. Run them all. Brush them all. Get them all. Dust them all. You know why? Barbados tridents is better than anything. Nothing can test we beat it.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region, and we go to Grenada, where the government says it will delay debate on an amendment to a bill that would criminalize the use of electronic devices to record and public images of marked ballots on election day. Leader of Government Business Gregory Bowen says the People's Representation Bill is being pushed back because the main opposition has refused to sign the minutes of a meeting which agreed to amendments of the existing act. Bowen told legislators that the bill was on the order paper for today's sitting, but it was withdrawn when the opposition parties did not give their consent in writing. And finally, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has been calling for calm following today's Supreme Court ruling, which nullified his election. The court also ordered a new poll within 60 days. The ruling sets up a new race for the presidency between Kenyatta and his political rival, Raila Odinga. That's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good weekend.